You are now tuned in to the multi-nominated, award-winning Game Spitting Chronicles podcast, hosted by the homie Cuzzo. You BZ? It's the Chronicles podcast. 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 It's the Chronicles podcast.
What up, y'all? This is your boy Cuzzo, and we are back for another episode of the Chronicles podcast. Let's go. How is everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? You guys are getting an earlier episode this week for the 4th of July, you dig? Oh, we've got a lot to cover. But before we even get into anything, last week I wanted to do a test run, a test drive, if you will, of doing a live stream mixed, coupled, if you will, with the presidential debate. And I've got to say, shouts to Twan. Shouts to everybody that tuned in. We made a record last week for the Chronicles, you dig? I mean, 150 people watching, seeing what the candidates had to say, saw the performances, and I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for tuning in, checking it out. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I hope myself and Twan made you laugh, kept it interesting, which is what I've been told. So let's go. Now, since this debate, it's been a shit show for Joe Biden. Oh, yeah. Big time. Yeah. I said that if Biden is the nominee, but I said if something were to happen, and folks, the debate happened. The polls are showing Biden got destroyed in that debate. People want him to step down. They want him to step aside, and they want another candidate to run against Trump. But the problem with that, I've been saying previously, and I've said this episodes ago, the problem with that is, who are your choices? Who do you want to replace Biden? Gavin Newsom, who's turned California into a shit show. I talk about California damn near every week because, I was born and raised in California. I love California, but I don't love what's happened to that state. People are saying Michelle Obama. And I've got to be honest once again, because I think I've said this before as well, that I think people are overplaying the popularity hand with Michelle Obama. I question, is she really as popular as people say she is? Then you have Kamala Harris, who it should be anyway because she's the vice president. But we have to be honest, Kamala Harris is a shit show. We can go through each one of these three because I've seen people bring up other Democratic candidates, but the problem is none of these candidates besides Kamala and Michelle Obama have been in the public eye like that. Gavin has, but all these other candidates haven't been in the public eye enough. Gavin, I mean, he is the atypical politician. He'll talk circles around you and he'll talk bullshit with you. Now, how much of that are people willing to put up with is the question. Michelle Obama. We have to be honest with ourselves when we talk about this. What is Michelle Obama going to bring to the table? Michelle Obama's going to run into the problem of being fitting this person into this slot. She's going to have to go with all those things that they've already been riding with and that people aren't happy about. Do you think Michelle Obama's going to get in front of a mic and say she wants to keep the borders open? Do you think she's going to want to keep talking about electric vehicles and paying for migrants who come into the country illegally, even though they know the Democrats know it's a problem right now? Does she really want to side with these issues publicly? I don't think so. The economy? I don't think so. Is she really publicly going to keep backing the war in Ukraine? Is she going to publicly back Israel? I don't think Michelle Obama is going to do these things. That's why I don't think she's running. Nobody. Not at all. If she did, it'd be surprising to me, but hey. Then we have Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
See what can be unburdened by what.
I had the video playing, you dig? I had it playing in the background. Yeah. We have Kamala Harris, a video I saw of her saying the same thing over and over and over again. Kamala's a robot politician. But let's give you a sample size because I don't like to put the information out there and not let you guys see for yourself. So let's get a sample.
Can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been, you know?
What can be unburdened by what has been.
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 What we can see, what we believe can be unburdened by what has been.
What 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 can be unburdened by what has been.
Who we can be unburdened by who we have been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Where we can be unburdened by where we have been and unburdened by where we are right now.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What could be unburdened by what had been.
What can be unburdened by what has 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 been.
What can be
unburdened by what has been.
Unburdened by what has been, believing in what can be.
What can be, unburdened by what has been.
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 What can be,
Unburdened by what has been.
what can be, unburdened by what has been.
What could be, unburdened by what had been.
What can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. What
I'm not going to bother you guys with any more of that shit. Fuck no. Jeez. That video goes on for another 3 minutes, so you need to thank me for stopping that shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got the receipts. I mean, that must be her finishing move. If this was pro wrestling, that's her finishing move. Oh, yeah. And just a little bit more receipts. Do you remember in 2016 when Kamala was talking about running as an Indian? Do you remember that? Do you remember? I remember. Let's go down memory lane, you know? We got to.
The Democratic Party for a very long time, not just this election cycle, has been doing a lot of active outreach around the South Asians, around the API in general, and will continue to do it. I mean, what we know in particular when you're talking about the South Asian community, we're talking about the Indian community more specifically, it is a growing community in the United States in terms of its voting bloc, in terms of its participation, and I think the party knows that and knows that this is part of our collective community, and there needs to be outreach and inclusion.
And certainly you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
You could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
Oh, yeah. She didn't try to correct them and say, you know, I'm half and half, or I identify as an African American woman. She did none of that. She just rolled with what it was. Oh, yeah. Now, normally, I would sit up here and spend a lot of time on this, but I'm not going to because I got bigger fish to fry. Huh. But Kamala isn't going to work either. Her being the candidate will not work either. Simply because, if you remember, Kamala was tasked with taking control and taking care of the border issue. Now, shit's wilding out. Did you hear the story out of New York? We talked about it on the debate last week, but the story about the guy who, you know, raped or graped or whatever you want to call it, you know, a teenager, because I know the algorithm is sensitive, recorded it, and then the community caught this guy, whooped his ass until the cops came, really put them hands and feet on his ass. Much needed. She was tasked with that, and still to no avail. Then I've even seen some people say, well, why not Bernie Sanders? Folks, Bernie Sanders is older than Joe Biden. Yes, I know some of you don't want to hear that. It's facts. Bernie Sanders had his one shot. He's older than Joe Biden. He's 82 years old. 82. I know you guys don't want to hear that. Biden is 81. So what do you guys expect to come out of this? We have to question Biden's age, of course. We totally have to. It's a fair question. His faculties. It's nothing wrong with posing the questions that people want to know. People want to understand how we got here. She said, the White House press secretary, that Biden's poor debate performance was based on a cold and jet lag? What?
The president blamed jet lag for his debate performance, but he was back stateside for well over a week. So does he really need more than a week and a half to recover from traveling in Europe? And is that really what he thinks caused his poor debate performance?
So, yeah, just a couple of things, and I do appreciate the question because the president has certainly spoken to this many times about the debate, and so he had an opportunity to do that in front of supporters, and as you just stated, he did that. He owned that the debate was not his best night, and he said himself, it's not an excuse, but it's an explanation. I was standing here yesterday, and many people were asking why and what's the explanation, and that's what you heard from him. Look, the two, I think, in addition to the two major trips, he was also continued to do his presidential duties. He worked late in doing that, and he also prepared for the debate. And on top of that, there was obviously the jet lag, as you just asked about, and also he had a cold. And you all heard directly, you heard from him during the debate. He had a hoarse voice. Many of you reached out to me and my team and some other members of the White House asking what was going on. We confirmed that he had a cold. And so I think those two things, continuing obviously to do his duties as commander-in-chief, as the president. And so I think some of you here in this room can certainly relate to, what could happen when you're having an important moment and you're not feeling well, and also you wish you could have done better. And so he took ownership. I think that's important, and he's going to continue to make a strong case for his agenda, and that's what you're going to see. And he was given an explanation, and that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to get that out there and for people to hear directly from him, as he has been doing since Friday of last.
Folks, Biden had every conceivable advantage in this debate. There are no excuses. He had every advantage. I mean, come on. Trump, I am of the thought that Trump shouldn't have even agreed to this. I've been said, Joe Rogan should be doing this debate. You can't expect CNN to be fair because they're the people hosting the debate. The moderators already don't like Trump and have issues with Trump. I have a problem with that. I take issue with that. Not siding with Trump on that, but I don't think if someone has a direct bias against someone, I don't think they can correctly moderate a debate. Now, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, the mic cutting and all that was actually pretty decent. But this was not how they expected it to go. Having every advantage in giving Trump a big disadvantage, they didn't expect these results. Because the people are speaking in these polls, and Biden lost that debate. Where do we go from here? The rumblings of him stepping aside. I think they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't at this point. It doesn't matter who you put in that slot because the policies are going to be stuck to that person. Whether it's Michelle Obama, Gavin Newsom, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, those policies are tied to that person. The biggest concerns among voters are the border, immigration, border/immigration, and the economy. They want to know. The folks want to know what is going to change. She also said that Biden hasn't seen a doctor since February and that the White House isn't going to be releasing any medical records. Now, I understand that. I do. You know, you got HIPAA and all that shit. I get it. But saying that this guy doesn't need a cognitive test, I don't agree with that.
To speak to.
And did the president take a mental fitness or cognitive test during his physical this morning?
So let me just say I did see Dr. O'Connor, and he stopped by my office earlier today after the president completed his physical this morning, as you all know. He was happy with how everything went, and as soon as he finishes completing the memo, it will be a robust, comprehensive memo. We will certainly share that with all of you, as we have done in the last 2 years. And look, you saw the president return to work. He took some of your questions not too long ago, and you saw he's going to continue to fight for the American people. And in this particular instance, he was talking about fighting crime. So the president's going to continue that process. As it relates to, you were asking me about a cognitive test. As it relates to that, look, the president doesn't need a cognitive test. That is not my assessment. That is not my assessment. That is the assessment of the president's doctor. That is also the assessment of the neurologist, who has also made that assessment as well. And, and you've heard us say this, and I'll reiterate this, the president's doctor has said, if you look at what this president, the president who is also the commander-in-chief, he passes a cognitive test every day, as he moves from one topic to another topic, understanding the granular level of these topics. You saw him talk about fighting crime today. Tomorrow he's going to go to the border. Next week he's going to give a State of the Union address. And so we have to keep that in mind. This is a very rigorous job, and the president has been able to do this job every day for the past 3 years. And let's not forget, he is also leading a historic presidency, which is also important to note in everything that we've been able to do. He's been able to get done over the past 3 years.
But given that there's been so much scrutiny and you say there's no problem, he'd pass the test every day, why not just have his doctor administer the test and then case closed?
Because the doctor doesn't believe that he needs one, because including the neurologist doesn't believe he needs one. Look, I think folks need to understand that the president passes, again, a cognitive test every day. If you look at what a clinical cognitive test is actually, what it actually does, it is a 15-minute appointment that is administered by someone that most of the time people don't actually know. And the president has a team of doctors that is with him 24/7. And he is able to do the work every day that is rigorous, that is more rigorous than it would be for any 15-minute clinical appointment. And you think about the job growth, you think about the record small business action, you think about the bloom in that particular space of 16 million more small businesses have been created. You think about delivering historic investment. That has been done by a president who has to deal with these issues every day, again, on a granular level. And so his doctor, including the neurologist, do not believe that he needs one. That is their assessment. Go ahead.
I wonder, does she realize that people know she's lying because she blinks a lot? Just saying. Just saying. And that's an older clip But that's the point I'm saying. Who's telling the truth here? I feel like they've been lying this whole time. We have to understand what's going on. Biden's not going to win this. What is another debate later on in a couple months going to do? It's not going to do anything for Biden. So they have to look at all their options. Nothing surprises me when it comes to politics. I have to say that. But the other options that they're talking about, that I've seen people talking about, are just different people with the same policies. And you as the voter, you need to know that. A lot of these other networks and content creators won't tell you that, but I'm going to tell you that. This person fits this particular seat of what we want. We're just changing the face. It's the same policies, but a different face. And that's a damn shame, because you people deserve better. You want a younger, fresher candidate, which I got to keep it real with you guys too. I keep hearing people say, we need other options. We need other options. Who are the other options that you guys want? Please tell me. I don't want to be an asshole about this, but a lot of people don't even pay attention to politics to sit up here and name what another option would be. If you go to the average person on the street and say, you don't like either option, and they say no, well, who's the option? I bet you some of them say Bernie Sanders, not realizing that he's older than both Biden and Trump. A lot of these people aren't hip to politics to know what congressmen, senators, whatever, who they like, that they would be interested in running for president. No, The Rock doesn't count, because The Rock would be a shit show if he ran for president. Yeah. I'm calling it. The Rock cares too much about what people think about him, and he's ran shit into the dirt from DC to other shit. So, and people still have questions about the Maui shit. So, yeah, The Rock ain't talking about shit. So, I mean, you guys have to be realistic with your expectations. You want other candidates? Okay, fine. Who are the candidates that you want? Are you on social media actively boosting the person that you're interested in being a choice? Or are you just saying you want other choices, but you really don't want other choices? Because that's what I think it is. I think a lot of people are saying they want another choice, but they don't know what other choice they want. They can go get a no-name person to take Biden's place, and then you're going to spend the next 4 months trying to get to know this person. That's not enough time to get to know somebody for a presidential campaign. I'm sorry, folks. That's just the truth. I don't want to bullshit you. I want to tell you the truth. So that's what we do here. I'm keeping it a buck here. Sexual chocolate. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. We grooving, baby. Yeah. I had that going. Shit. That shit was crazy. The song was going and Alexa was talking in the background. Just know they're always listening. If Alexa's listening, they're listening. It's time. It's time to talk about it. Now, many of you don't want to have this conversation, but we got to have it. Rick Ross. The biggest boss that we've seen thus far just took the biggest loss that we've seen this far. Oh, gosh. Who told him? Now, let's clear this up first. This incident happened in Vancouver, not Toronto. Vancouver's totally different part of Canada. It's far from Toronto. So we need to clear that up first. But I have so many problems with this. First off, you went to Canada to perform and you knew you were going to troll. Rick Ross has been on his troll shit. So why would you play Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us, when that's not even your song? You did it to do a troll moment. That's what you were going for. That troll moment didn't go down the way you thought it would go down, and you had a situation that happened. And then what did you do? You got the fuck out of Dodge. You see, this is a reoccurring theme that we keep having from the last few weeks. And I've said this a couple weeks ago. It's funny how shit comes full circle when I tell you guys stuff. I always say I never want to meet my idols. I'm not saying Rick Ross is an idol. Fuck no. Is Rick Ross a good artist? Yes, he's a good artist. He makes good music. But folks, Rick Ross never was the guy who he claimed to be in his music and in his videos. William Leonard Roberts II was at one point in his life a correctional officer, and even some of the inmates have came out and said he was a fucking asshole. He lied about being a correctional officer. Then he lied and said he wasn't a correctional officer that long, when really, he got an award for perfect attendance. Oh, I'm finna cook. I'm about to cook. So you go to Canada, you want to play Not Like Us, even though it's not your song. People approach you. We'll get to the ties to the Hells Angels and all that in a minute. We'll get to that. They asked you, yo, can you turn that shit off? Respectfully. You didn't want to do it, so you had to get that issue. You were running around for months talking all that white boy shit. And they touched y'all motherfuckers up. They touched your crew up. And it was more than just white boys. So I keep hearing the internet saying they were all Hells Angels. I don't know what all they were. However, I know one of them was identified as being possibly with the Hells Angels. But there were other people that could have been mixed race. There were black people. There were people of color scuffling against Rick Ross's side. Rick Ross, this is his fault. You know, when you travel with security, not only are they supposed to work for you, but in a sense, you're supposed to work for them. You're supposed to ensure their safety too. They have to ensure your safety, but it's your responsibility as the person being protected not to put your security in a position where they could be hurt or compromised so everyone can get home fucking safe. So telling DJs to play Not Like Us when everybody knows you've had issues with Drake recently, everybody knows you've been on your troll shit, and then you must have thought you weren't going to get approached by it. Well, no, they were on that type of time. Yeah. It's one thing I don't like. I don't like rappers that don't pass the sniff test. I don't like rappers that talk about the gangster life and the lifestyle and all that, but then situations like this happen and they won't bust a grape in a fruit fight. Your team, your mans is over there getting whooped on. 6-7 dudes just getting whooped on and you're not doing shit. I keep hearing the excuse, oh, he's the money man, you know, he's the person that they got to protect. He's the boss. He's got to be protected. No, he raps about a lifestyle like he's the biggest gangster there is, the biggest drug dealer, the biggest gangster there is. He should be out there getting his hands fucking dirty. That's the problem when you want to put on this gangster persona. You were big, you did exercise, you're getting in shape and all that. All that for what? You don't even want to get into a fucking fist fight? Now, this was another rapper that he got into it with from Canada. Miracles or I can't pronounce the name off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up. But does this tie to Drake? Not necessarily. Who knows? I mean, at the end of the day, Rick Ross provoked this. I saw earlier today, Uncle Luke, he's about to get the work too, but he sits up here and he's talking to Drake and people making comments 50 and sitting up here talking about he had a talk with Tupac and Biggie. Luke, them niggas wasn't listening to you. Fuck are you talking about? Huh? I had a talk with Pac and I had a talk with Biggie. Nigga, you were past your prime when Pac and Biggie were around. Nigga, you were done by then. What are you talking about? And Luke, you do have music that has contributed to the culture. Yes, you have a catalog, Luke, but if we're going to be perfectly honest, you're part of the problem that, how do I want to say it? That degraded African American women in general, in hip hop. Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan. I like the videos and everything, but we got to call a spade a spade. Have you apologized yet for the damage that you did as far as degrading women in hip hop? See, that's the thing that we have to do. That's an L that you have to sit up here and admit. Now, part of me sitting up here accepting my L, I have to accept it in one form and in one shape. And at one point in my life, I was in the game. So I had to sit up here and accept and acknowledge that was an L for me in being involved in some of the things I was when I was in the game. I have to acknowledge that. But you got to acknowledge, before you even talk about Rick Ross and Drake, nigga, you got to keep acknowledging the fact that you caused some harm in hip hop. Pop that pussy and all that. You gotta accept that. But we'll come back to you later at another time. But you're sitting here saying, Drake shouldn't have liked the post. He shouldn't have been laughing about it, this and that and the third. Luke, are you not up to speed? Do you know that there's a song that Rick Ross was trying to play in his home country of him being called a pedophile? Are you up to speed, my nigga? Come on, let's get you up to speed, Uncle Luke. I know you up in age. We got to get you up to speed. You look crazy anyway right now. As soon as I saw this 13-minute video of you just saying the same shit, I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny also how, I thought it was funny, not funny, how also a week ago you didn't say shit when Fulio goddamn got shot up. You didn't say shit. But when it comes to this, you got something to say. But rappers have been popping at each other and killing each other. This shit's been going on. These rappers in Florida, Texas, and all that have been making diss songs and shit about each other. You didn't have shit to say about any of those. Now you got something to say about Rick Ross and Drake. Okay, my nigga. I gotta pack niggas out today. Fuck is he talking about? You looking crazy right now. Stop the nonsense. That's what you should be pushing on. Don't worry about the Drake and Rick Ross shit. That shit is what it is. Talk about these young rappers that are dying. Let's talk about that shit. Rick Ross is fucking 48 years old, running around here trying to troll people younger than him just so we can get some clout, and the shit didn't pan out his way. The nigga's 48, Drake's 37. Come on. Make it make sense. As light as his team was too, I'm starting to think, putting pieces together to this puzzle. I'm looking at, I looked earlier today. I've been seeing it over the course of months, but I'm seeing Rick Ross's shows recently. This nigga's performing at proms and shit. Is Rick Ross, does he really got the money that he says he has? Or is this all just a facade? I saw one concert, he calls Drake a white boy, but I saw one concert, he had 15 people in front of him and they were all white. What? I got the video too. I seen the video. Fuck is he talking about? Doing all these weird little shows and shit. Then you're doing these shows and the nigga you're trying to troll and get clout off of, you're playing his music in your set. Make it make sense. You're going and you're performing Hustling and maybe fucking BMF, and then you're going to all the songs you did with Drake. We got to pack Rick Ross out, man. And if you don't know, for those of you that don't know, you just know Rick Ross, the rapper, go check out Joe Rogan's interview with the real Rick Ross, who was a drug dealer. And he talks about how Rick Ross took his name and how all that went down. Go check that out. Nothing about this guy was real. Music's good, but nothing about this guy was real and authentic. Rick Ross did nothing when them G-Unit niggas put hands and feet on Gunplay. Y'all remember that video of Gunplay getting mopped up by G-Unit? They had that nigga bouncing around outside like a fucking ping pong ball. Go look it up. I remember. Shit's crazy. He talks all this shit. I mean, really? Remember when his fucking car crashed into a building after a drive-by shooting? On his birthday. Y'all don't remember that, huh? They tried to shoot his shit up on his birthday. Y'all remember when this nigga was getting pressed by the GDs? I remember. I remember all these incidents, yet album after album, we have this guy telling us he's a gangster, he's the biggest boss, he's this, he's that. He's none of that. I mean, really. And if you look at his social media, all he does is talk about what he has. That's it. He promotes a rich lifestyle. That's all he talks about. But you got to realize when you go to war with somebody, you got to have that paper. And I've said it weeks ago and I'm saying it again. None of these guys have the kind of paper that Drake has. I'm sorry. That's just facts. Drake's money's long. His money's long. He can have your cousin, your brother knock you the fuck off. Drake's got that white sniper from 3 buildings away money. Oh, yeah. Drake's got that come to your house dressed as a contractor and then handle their business. He's got that kind of money. I'm cooking. Rick Ross might have little drive-by money. He might have that. I'll give him that. He's got some change, but he ain't got Drake money. I'm just keeping it a buck. Rick Ross never had that kind of career. You know? He might have a nigga popped in front of a liquor store. He might have that kind of money. But he ain't got Drake hitman money. Yeah. Rick Ross has beat you up in a club, maybe rob you, maybe shoot you in the leg money. Drake has John Wick, everybody in a 2-state radius, cell phones all ring at the same time and say, target such and such, amount such and such, get that nigga. I'm cooking. John Wick money. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch John Wick. I think it's 4. 3 ended when everybody's phone was ringing and they was looking at that nigga. That's the kind of money that Drake has. And all these people, oh man, Drake's got to watch it when he goes to such and such. Does he? That motherfucker has military and ex-police officers working for him. Drake ain't worried about that. You'd probably have an easier time trying to get your hands on Diddy, no Diddy, than Drake. Just saying. And he fucks with Jay Prince, and he's got homies in Canada, and people in Cali, believe it or not, still fuck with him. So all this stuff I've been seeing on social media, I just wanted to end it on that and say, man, we got to get it together, man. Speaking of Fulio, because I mentioned him earlier, did you see the footage that got released today? Oh, yeah. They wanted him the fuck up out of here. They were coming to get him. But folks, we've got to stop putting our locations out there. Stop dropping your location. You've got to stop it. You've got to stop dropping it. You can't go about your business and think you're going to party and do all this shit that you want to do and nothing's going to happen. That's all part of this game. Fulio was never going to make it out of that hotel. He never was. We have to accept that. But at the same time, you have to kind of say it was karma, because all the trolling and the music he did, doing videos at the gravesite of the ops and everything, that's not the way to go about it. I'm sorry, that's not the way you do shit. I don't know what this new generation's on, but Luke, maybe you need to talk to these young niggas. You worried about the old niggas? Talk to the youth, my guy. Everybody's getting it today. Cuzzo's just swinging at everybody. I'm sorry. This is just one of them things, because, talking about an election, then we got to play cleanup. Don't worry, I gotta call my people to the thing too. I gotta call artists I really genuinely like to the congregation too. E40's got to get it too. He's got to get it. He's been going around and promoting Joe Biden. He posted a photo with Joe Biden on his social media, then had to turn off the comments. I fuck with you, 40, but that's some clown shit. Joe Biden brought out E40 and Fat Joe at his North Carolina rally. And E40's performing Tell Me When to Go and Snap Your Fingers. Are you fucking serious? Come on, man. This is what he said, though. It was an honor to meet President Biden and the First Lady and perform at his rally in North Carolina alongside my brother Fat Joe. We grew up at a time where hip hop wasn't allowed near the president. So this experience was a blessing. Even though my time with the president was brief, I could really sense his passion, and I look forward to working with his administration on more ways to help our, in all caps, people. I know some people won't agree with my position, but that's the beauty of this country. We can have different opinions and respect each other. God bless America. E40, my nigga, now you hollering God bless America? Come on, man. $40. Do you see the state of California? I mean, you're there. I see the state of it from, I see the state of our state from afar. Businesses are leaving. Crime is high in the Bay Area. California too. Migrant issue. Housing. Rent. What are you talking about, 40? And it's not going to get any better. But this is one of those things, if you keep voting for the same people, you get the same shit. I mean, isn't that the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again. You're voting for the same people over and over again. And you're expecting a different result voting for the same people. E40 did that post. Did he forget that Oakland's mayor got raided by the FBI? Are you not up to speed, 40? Yeah, you're a legend in the Bay Area. You're a legend in rap. Of course, you've created so much when it comes to slang and game and everything, but you're obviously not up to speed on politics, brother. I say respectfully as a fan, if you don't know what you're doing, just be quiet, take the bag, perform, and get the fuck out of Dodge. You got to take the bag and go. Don't post about it. Just do a picture maybe if that's what you want to do. But don't get on social media saying all that because the comments was roasting you. I saw it on Thizzler's social media page. They were roasting you, man. It didn't look good. I see why you turned the comments off on your social media. But hey, I'm just trying to give game, man. I'm trying to help y'all out. Because I believe this shit could be corrected, but we got to make changes. California's got to get tough on crime. They've got to fix the homelessness issue. They've got to fix the migrant issue. They've got to incentivize businesses to stay. Because businesses don't want to stay with the crime high. There's no incentive for them to stay. Make these businesses want to stay. Just saying. I hate to have to do that to a legend, but you know. You don't want to see the legends get work like that. You don't. You want it to make sense. You want everything for the place that you love to happen right and do what it's supposed to do. Everything to be safe, secure for yourself and your kids. But hip hop's got to start making more sense. Just like the BET Awards. Does anybody watch the BET Awards anymore? Is this a thing? Really? Shit show. It's a shit show. I saw Sexy Red's performance. Oh my God. Shit show. It's a shit show. Will Smith debuting a new song. Who the fuck cares? I ain't forgot that you slapped Chris Rock. You got a new song with a choir and you're in a pit of fire and all that bullshit, and I'm supposed to forget the fact that you slapped another black man in front of the world? What the fuck? I haven't forgot. I don't think I will ever forget. He wants people to get over that. The Bad Boys movie and all that. No, I'm not getting over it. Not getting over it. Sorry. It's got to make sense. And BET Awards doesn't make sense. It's clown shit. Nobody in 2024 gives a fuck about a BET Award. What do you do with it? It's a doorstop now, isn't it? I don't know. Shit's crazy to me, man. I don't get it. I saw that and I just shook my fucking head. I really did. I said, what are we coming to? BET, this is still a thing? I couldn't believe it. We're still snapping and doing all this bullshit and everything. And then Kamala Harris and Taraji, the phone call, the skit. Oh my God, that was a shit show. That's supposed to make us vote? Taraji was sitting there talking about homeless and this and that and the third. I'm looking in the background. Niggas is on their phones and shit. Nobody's paying attention to her goddamn babbling. Make it make sense. Shit's crazy. We've got to get it together. We're worried about the wrong shit. The black community, we're worried about the wrong shit. I'm sorry. We're worried about Rick Ross and shit. I mean, Rick Ross trolled and he paid the price for trolling. We've got to get back to the basics, man. We've got to worry about shit that takes care of us. That's what the fuck we should be worried about. That's what we need to do. Handle that. We'll be back. Have you seen this thing going on with Olive Garden raising their prices? Did you hear about it? I mean, really, that's everywhere, right? Legendary family favorite chain to hike prices as inflation-weary customers say just shut down. I'm not an Olive Garden eater myself, but this is everywhere. Olive Garden raised prices because food inflation has reduced the number of people eating out. Yes, it has. It's making more sense for a family of 4 now to go to the grocery store and get something easy to make at home than to just run. Remember when you could just run and grab McDonald's and go fucking home and get something for the family? It's not like that anymore. California, you have the $20 minimum wage. Making businesses close. Some businesses still never bounced back truly from COVID. Businesses here in Anchorage closing or closed. More than just restaurant businesses, regular businesses. And I say that because when it comes to dating, because this was a topic that someone wanted me to bring up, when it comes to dating nowadays, Olive Garden, fast food is damn near the new expensive restaurant now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's the new fast food. You take a chick on a date now, you take her to McDonald's, y'all are spending $30 easily. You go to a regular restaurant now, you're going to be paying upwards of, I'd say, depending on what you get, easily over $100 for a date. Everything's gone up. You hear ladies say, well, I want to be taken out. I want this and I want that. And guys aren't going for that anymore. A movie ticket nowadays, the average cost of a movie ticket is what, $13? So two people going to see a movie, let's just assume it's $13. You know what? Let me look on the Cuzzletron 3000. Ticket price in 2024. It says the average ticket price is $11, roughly $11. So if you're going IMAX, you're paying about $3 more. So let's just assume it's 13. Let's call it $13. 13 times 2 is 26. So that's $26 you and someone going to see a movie. That's not including $7 popcorn. That's not including 2 drinks that are about $6-7. Let's just call it all $7. So 21, right? Or excuse me, 26, because you guys are going to see IMAX. You want to impress with the good screen. So 26, and then you still have 7. Let's just assume you get 2 drinks, 7 a pop, 14, 21. And then you get some candy. You're already at $50 right there. And that's just the movie. What if you guys go out to eat afterwards? You get popcorn, of course, for the movie, because who doesn't get popcorn? Then you guys go out to eat afterwards. That's crazy. That's why a lot of people are being more cautious with their time, their effort, and their energy. I mean, after all, simp does mean... we forget simp does mean someone who idolizes mediocre pussy. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, talking about cost of things that don't make any sense. Did you guys hear about that article about Dior? Italian prosecutors found out that Dior pays $57 to produce bags that they're selling to you ladies and possibly men. I don't know. I don't pay attention to Dior. I thought it just makes women's bags, but they might make men's bags. They're paying $57 to make this product, and then they're selling it to you for damn near $3,000. Make that make sense. That's crazy. And you're working, spending your hard-earned money for that. For what? Just to floss it? And say, I got the latest and greatest? I think motherfuckers should boycott Dior and say, hey, man, you need to drop these fucking prices. It costs you $57 to make, but you charging me $3,000 for it? That's ludicrous. Talk about a turnaround on investment. That's crazy. I mean, damn. You've got to look at that. That market is way overpriced. Tell you folks, pay attention. Pay attention to this. Y'all motherfuckers better start watching Shark Tank and shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's one of the first questions they ask you on Shark Tank. How much does it cost to make it? How much did you make last year? Obviously, Dior's making a killing. But I'm just saying, Oh, man. Are y'all ready for this weekend, man? July 4th weekend. When you have these holidays, remember, just take a moment to reflect what these holidays are for. Because a lot of people don't pay attention to what the holidays are for, what they mean. So yeah, just take a minute to reflect. But other than that, enjoy the weekend. Be safe. Indulge. I'll be indulging. I'll be having a drink. Take care of your loved ones. Take care of yourself. And don't make dumb decisions like Rick Ross. We ran a little bit over today, I like to sit up here and try to keep it at an hour, but we ran over a little bit since it's a long weekend. You're getting the episode early. Why not? I figured let's have a go at it. But I just do things like this. You know why?
I'm better than you, and you know it.
And that's what it is, man. Remember, y'all have a good weekend. Get goals accomplished. This your boy, Cuzzo. If you didn't see the presidential live stream, go back and check it out. It's the last episode. The show stream itself for the video is under the description of the episode. Click that link. It'll take you to StreamYard. You'll be able to see me and Twan, the shenanigans. You'll be able to see a great video at the end. Shouts to the homie T-Maz. Congratulations to him on having a kid. You already know what it is, man. We up out of here. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah.